And so without further ado, we are going to move on into the Underworld saga, which is also going to signify the end of Act 1. There are parts where I'm very excited to see how the animator does it. And yeah, I think we'll go ahead and check it out. Let's go. Boop. Oh, volume. I always forget the volume. Clover is the animator this time. I think that's a new one. We find full speed ahead until we find the prophet. Yeah, we're in the Underworld. Yep, and we have all of the souls. And some kind of river stream.
Every time I dare to close my eyes, I no longer dream. Only nightmares of those who died.
Oh, that hurts.
In the underworld, the past seems close behind. This land confuses your mind.
Yes, the crew. Who died under your command? Captain, 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 Captain. Oh, okay, that's really nice. Going from Polyphemus to Poseidon. Oh! Oh yeah, this is really haunting him.
I keep thinking of the infant from that night. This life is amazing.
Oh, and he's not even looking at Odysseus. And he just fades away.
That voice.
The waiting motif. It's so good.
Mom?
I'll be waiting. If you're the last thing I see, I'm right here, Mom. Can't you see? Oh, she doesn't even really get that close. Oh. Oh, that has to hurt. Oh. Dare to close my eyes. Oh. Aha! They found Tiresias. That's a great way to end it. So many things. This is why the Underworld is like my second favorite. Oh, it's kind of strange because how do I put this? There is a strange part of me that is always so drawn to basically any kind of media, particularly music, really, where it inflicts pain on the audience. I don't know what it is, but they're generally just so good. And how do I put this? Like the kind of music associated with all these kinds of themes are also the kind of music that I enjoy listening to the most. So it's like my my consumption of creative media always leads me back to pain. But oh, okay. Animatics. So first of all, we see them on the ship, which we can hear from the very beginning as well, with the ship creaking. And this is something that I think I remember seeing in Percy Jackson also, because they do also go into the underworld. Although I believe over there they paid someone 2 coins to kind of roll them through the underworld or roll them into the underworld. But over here, Odysseus and the crew are already inside somehow. But I guess there's really no need to show how exactly they went from Circe's island into the underworld, like where the pathway was. That's kind of unnecessary. But yeah, they have their ship and they're rowing across some sort of otherworldly river. And then yeah, from here, really the whole underworld comes out to torment them, all the souls around. And I like that they kind of turn into the stream itself. That's quite an interesting visualization of it. I didn't think about that because the way I thought about it is, well, generally also very dark. Mostly like black and white almost. But the green is a very nice color to add into this. It's like a dirty green almost. And yeah, for me, I thought that there was some kind of almost invisible river that they are kind of rowing through with their ship, and then on the sides of that river is where all of the souls are floating around and screaming. But yeah, that's different from how I imagined. And then, of course,
I no longer dream.
you get the nightmares of Odysseus.
I no longer
Over here, I didn't notice that one,
only
but
nightmares.
we have Polyphemus, kind of flattening however many of the crew members in his cave. And then you have Scylla over here, I believe, with the tentacles. Is this Scylla? No, because Scylla didn't destroy a ship. What is this? When I see this octopus leg thingy, I guess I think of the Kraken, but I don't think that's part of the Odyssey. I don't think. And then we aren't even in Scylla yet. So who is this? You have Polyphemus, and then after that would be Poseidon and the Lastrygonians. I guess this could be Poseidon? I'm not sure. After Poseidon, we end up on Circe's island with their last ship already. So it has to be during the Poseidon encounter. I wonder why they drew this. There was no mention of any like sea creatures yet. Okay, yes, I am back once again. If you guys have watched the VOD, you'll notice that I am continuously confused by this whole thing of an octopus monster being depicted, and it is something that we will keep seeing being associated with Poseidon in the upcoming animatics as well. And to this day, I am still confused because if you're talking about a famous octopus monster that is, gigantic, the Kraken is really the only one that comes to mind. But at least as far as I can tell, right? I've been doing a lot of digging around on the internet, and the Kraken is continuously said to be of Norse origin, which means that the Kraken does not exist in Greek mythology. There is a sea creature associated with Poseidon, though, uh, because there are some stories apparently, because Poseidon is the god of the seas, uh, it makes sense that he would also have the control and domination over the sea creatures. And one of the famous sea creatures in Greek mythology would be Cetus. I'm not seeing a whole lot about the monster's appearance. It seems to have the description of being as like some sort of wild boar and a sort of hybrid creature with the head of a boar and the body of a whale or dolphin with fan-like tails. Or it is also sometimes described as like a sea serpent. So absolutely nothing to do with an octopus or the kraken, really. But I may have found a explanation for this repeated association with a big octopus monster, and that could have been because of the film called Clash of the Titans. There seems to be a 2010 version, but there is an earlier one from 1981. Clash of the Titans, I do not know anything really about it, but as far as I can tell, it seems to be a loose adaptation of the story of Perseus, who does exist in Greek mythology. And the monster that was supposed to destroy some city in his story is supposed to be Cetus, but in the movie itself, the director seems to have replaced Cetus with Kraken, because the actor does have a famous line called "Let loose the Kraken," or more famously, probably from the 2010 version,
Release the Kraken!
and that could be where the association of Kraken and Greek mythology came from, possibly. But yeah, you will see me being repeatedly confused by this octopus association with Poseidon, because again, it does appear in multiple of the animatics from here on. But yeah, the Kraken is not Greek, it is Norse, and does not actually have anything to do with Greek mythology. Like, it doesn't even exist over there. But yeah, well, this is just the nightmares that Odysseus have, which I imagine is amplified by the atmosphere and overall effect of the underworld. I don't know much about it, but I do imagine that with all of the souls screaming around you, it has to be very haunting. So yeah. And then Polities, our best boy, who also appears.
Nothing's what it seems.
Oh yes, this was another part that I wanted to point out also, because okay, hold on, let me see what they do again. Right. They showed Polyphemus and then transforming into Poseidon, because those are the two who killed pretty much all of them. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because I think this is the line where I had the clearest imagination of what I would have liked for it to look like. So, I mean, it's already haunting enough that they're kind of gloopy creatures in the underworld, which is a fair interpretation of it. They aren't supposed to have physical forms, so that's fair. It's just that for me, I would when I listen to this, right, I imagine that they would have slightly more solidified figures, a little bit like how what was that character's name? Moaning Martha in Harry Potter, and just a ghost in general. I almost imagine them to be like that, but slightly more transparent and wispy and foggy. And yeah, the part where they say, what was it? 550 million died under your why would you let the Cyclops live when ruthlessness is mercy? What I imagine was sort of going from behind Odysseus, and then the camera zooms into his point of view, and then you have the souls, right, kind of desperately grabbing onto his clothes and pulling at him almost. I know they aren't supposed to touch, but that's like the visualization that I have. Like they are just pulling him close to them, and then just their face straight up in the camera with it might be a bit graphic, but they could have made them kind of bloody face and all of that, and just screaming at Odysseus, why would you let the Cyclops live when ruthlessness is mercy? That's kind of how I imagine it. It might be a bit graphic again, but yeah, I would have really loved to see a similar interpretation to that, just to really dig into the how haunting this area is, if that makes any sense. But this interpretation here is also really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Come on, Captain. I will talk about this when we get to the music part. Yeah, and then they just kind of fade away. They just kind of fade away around Odysseus, because again, the dead and the living are not coming into contact. And then there's also this. When he closes his eyes and reopens it, he sees that his currently living crew suddenly turn into the same souls that they are swimming around in. That is amazing. Aha! And then you see how his eyes also, how do I put this? Almost devilish. You know how when you imagine demons or devils, they have glowing eyes? That's kind of how it looks like over here to me also. And then dropping the infant here, unlike Gigi, who didn't show this. But I guess this works extra well over here, just for the extra effect where this is really haunting him. And then our best boy comes back. I like this a lot. this. And I think it would have been really better if all the way towards the end, right, Polites does not look at Odysseus. I think that would have been really, really nice. Because I heard somewhere that, well, I mean, I've seen a couple of comments here and there that along this journey, right, Odysseus is slowly forgetting Polites. Not so much his existence, but more so how he looks like, and I guess his voice also, in a sense. So yeah, I think it would have been quite nice and painful, but like that's the whole point of this whole saga, for the pain. But yeah, I think it would have been great if Polites just never turns around, or when he does turn around. I guess they kind of do it here, but like maybe make his face a bit less recognizable, because the headband and the glasses are his like sort of signature look, at least among all the characters that we know. So yeah, I just thought that would have been nice, but this is also great. And then it just fades away. Phew. And then his mother. And this is also a really interesting interpretation, where she is just floating inside of the river. And I also just noticed the way they drew her. She's basically laying in a coffin here, isn't she? One extra point of pain over here is, right, it took me a while to notice. I don't know why, but I mean, I guess I didn't have the context of the whole story initially, but it took me a while to also realize that this particular moment is the first time that Odysseus finds out his mom is even dead at all. Because I believe she was supposed to be alive by the time when they opened the wind bag, so sometime in the Ocean Saga. And again, I haven't read Homer's Odyssey at all, but yeah, I just have to go off of hearsay, where when the wind bag was opened, Anticlea here, Odysseus' mom, she saw the storm that got released push the ships back, and because of that, she kind of died of heartbreak after witnessing that. Which, again, everything just kind of adds up to all the pain. But yeah, it hurt to realize that this is how Odysseus finds out that his mom is dead. You are cruel for drawing her like this. What's the animator's name again? I need to find out. Clover? Clover, you are... you are mean for drawing this. But yeah, it's a very interesting interpretation that, and then he's reaching out to her because he quite literally sees his own mom swimming under his ship. So much pain in this one song. Yeah, and then over here, she kind of floats in. I believe this would be Odysseus' imagination at this point, because he quite literally just saw her floating away, and like notice how the environment is gone from like this little scene here. So I imagine that this was just, we are in his imagination here. Thinking about his mom holding his face while he's crying and all that. And her smile. And she fades away. Bye, Mom. And now we are back, you know. Yep, and we get to see a bit more of the environment. And then at the end, we see Tiresias. He has such a cool design here. Like, it looks like he has bandages over his eyes, which I guess makes sense for his character because he's supposed to be a blind prophet. But yeah, this glowing eye beneath the bandage is really cool, and then he also has his staff. So yeah, wonderful job on the animatics. I love all the pain that it brought. So now, let's go back. And that's the most replayed part. Of course, it's polities. But yeah, now we are gonna go back and point out all of the musical details. I am gonna yap about this for a while. So buckle up, and here we go. Again, from the very beginning, we have the ships creaking, just to tell us musically and orally that we are indeed on board of the ship and still sailing somewhere.
Friends,
and then also electric guitar playing Odysseus's motif. Where was it? Yeah. Do I have electric guitar in this sound bank? Give me a moment. There we go. There's bass, nylon, steel, crunch. I guess that's nice. And then we can listen. I don't know if you guys could hear that. That's my foot pedal.
Friends, Cersei's instructions were clear. No matter.
Yeah. It sounds weird with the pedal. So I guess we're gonna go back to the piano instead. But yeah, from the very beginning with the electric guitar, we get his motif. And then, what was it? Something like that? Yeah, something like that. We know how it sounds at this point. And then the full speed ahead. The recall on that. Aha! And also in the back of the mix, you also have a choir, which is not sung by the crew because we are in the underworld. That choir is sung by the souls around them. Because of course, you hear female vocals and there are no females on the ship, as far as we know anyway. And then here, full speed ahead until we find a prophet. That was the crew responding to Odysseus' commands. And then you can hear in the background among the choir, You can also hear the screams of all of the souls floating around in the mix. Just to really tell you, this is the Underworld.
All I hear are screams every time I dare to close my eyes.
And that's a double. Every time all I hear are screams. Quite literally, and also because he's being haunted by his past right now. Literally because there are souls screaming around him, as we saw in the animatic, and we also hear in the background as well.
I no longer dream.
Only nightmares of those who died.
Nothing's what it seems. And here in the underworld,
Yep, and then everything builds up with the drums also. You hear, would that be called a church bell? The one that you kind of hear when people die. So that was a very, very nice choice for the percussions. I don't know if you guys can hear it with this volume.
who died. Nothing's what it seems. And here in the underworld, the past seems close behind.
Yeah, in the back. Dun 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 dun. Why does that sound familiar? Dun 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 dun. I swear that sounds familiar. I am noticing new things in this listen through. Which is surprising considering how many times I've heard this song already.
Heirs of those who died. Nothing's what it seems. And here in the underworld, the past seems close behind.
And you also, for me, I hear it on the right side. You hear somebody breathing also, which is creepy and unsettling, but we are in the underworld again. On the right side, you hear someone going, ha, 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 as part of the rhythm also.
Those who died. Nothing's what it seems. And here in the underworld, the past seems close behind. This land confuses your mind.
That's so cool.
Does a man become a monster?
And also, something that I have not confirmed yet, but I will make a point to point out until we get to the song that I'm thinking of. I hear the piano. And I've been hearing the piano in some of the previous songs also. And we know who the piano is supposed to represent, but she is not around. But I will point it out once we get to the song that I'm thinking of. Because if what I'm thinking is true, I'm gonna lose my shit. It's not gonna get confirmed anytime soon. But keep that in mind. I hear the piano.
This land confuses your mind. When does a man become a monster?
Monster 558 men. Again, 558 men. It kinda confused me without any, before I got the context. Because the last time we actually got a solid number inside of Epic itself was during the encounter with Poseidon in Ruthlessness. After Poseidon and apparently the Lastragonians kind of destroyed pretty much every other ship besides the one that Odysseus was on. He said 43 left under your command. So if you take 600 minus 43, that should have been 557, not 8. And the reason we have 558 over here is because, as I have pointed out at back in the Circe saga. Was it here? When they were walking outside. Where was that scene? Over here! Yes! This idiot up here. So in the original story, one person actually died in Circe's saga, or particularly on her island, because he drank too much, somehow climbed onto the roof, and fell to his death. And the worst part is nobody knew, nobody noticed, despite having only 43 people on the ship. Somehow, nobody knew until they found him in the underworld. So, that's the reason for the 558 men. Yes, over here. Oh yes, and one more thing. No, two things about this part. Captain. Two things. Number one, that is a direct callback to how all of them screamed in Ruthlessness. Let's go back to that. In Ruthlessness, when they were dying. Hear that? Captain. So, again, that is a direct callback to how they died, and so this is supposed to basically just tell us in the music itself that these are the same people who died. And number two, listen closely to the notes that they are singing when they say Captain. I wonder, do you guys notice that? Captain. Yeah. Well, it's something. I'm probably playing the wrong scale, but that is the danger motif that we hear from the very first song and has been called back to many times in Act 1. Normally, let's go back to the Horse and the Infant, because that is where we first hear it. Listen to the strings. Da 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 da. Yeah, I think that's the right one. Da 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 da. Yeah, I don't know which key we are in, but you know, that's the point. Da 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 da. The dead crew here is singing the danger motif, which I interpret it as, you know, because we hear them over here screaming at Odysseus and basically, you know, effectively blaming him for his death because he let Polyphemus live. And so yeah, Odysseus kind of interprets this as a danger to him, I guess, in the midst of all of the distraught that he is in, right? And then also the callback to Polyphemus, and Ruthlessness is Mercy calling back to Poseidon.
All I hear are screams.
Oh,
Every time I
Oh, oh. I believe that is also a danger motif by the choir. Maybe I might be getting that wrong. But yeah, the church bell is still there. And then the callback to Polities. Read it with open arms. We'll be fine if we're leading from the heart. And also hear how the acoustic guitar comes in over here when he's thinking about Polities. Because although he has never explicitly mentioned it, we do eventually get Odysseus to confess that Polites is his best friend, at least in Epic. And then also for us as the audience, whether or not we know Greek mythology or specifically the Odyssey, we do end up getting attached to Polites because his worldview, I guess that would be the word, his worldview lines up much better with us in the modern day compared to how it does back in the whenever this was. So yeah, and we hear the acoustic guitar which plays when Odysseus is feeling very vulnerable. And that makes sense because this is suddenly the dead best friend coming back to speak to him, basically repeating the last words he had with Odysseus. And I love how soft Odysseus' voice is here. Polity. I can't do it. I don't have that much vocal control, but I don't have the words for it. It's just it sounds almost hopeful. And we get Anticlea. Notice what is playing on her piano.
That voice. It can't be. Mom?
Odysseus, when you come home, I'll be waiting. Even if you're the last thing I see.
How many of you recognize what's being played here? Because the reason I wanted to point this out is notice the notes here. And what is Odysseus' motif? It is the same motif, but in Odysseus' case, his is obviously played with the guitar, but also in minor, which I believe would be E minor. But for Anticlea, it is also in E, but in E major. So again, if you play in the same octave, Odysseus' E minor. Whoops. What did I play? But for Anticlea, his mom is and playing his motif. Which it is something that I found so cool, because I did watch Jorge's explanation on this, where he kind of explored, what was it called, genetic motifs, I believe was what he called it. Basically, this concept of genetic motifs, where even in the music itself, there will be a resemblance between the parent and the child. So here in this case, the genetic motif between Odysseus and his mom is the same motif and in effectively the same key, just between minor and major, which is so fucking cool, and I love it. Just yesterday, because I realized that I was gonna be doing the Underworld saga today, I ended up learning the motif. I can't figure out the left hand though, so. And then it is so pretty. I'm gonna learn this one, I swear.
That voice. It can't be.
But yeah, again, like I mentioned earlier when talking about the animation, this is the first time, and also how Odysseus finds out that his mom has passed. Because you have to realize that back in the day, they do not have the wireless kind of communication that we do today. When someone leaves their island or even their city or whatever, they are gone. Who knows where? They could have gone off course, they could have died, they could just still be doing whatever they are doing, nobody knows. So yeah, Odysseus never found out that his mom has died until he sees her in the underworld.
Mom?
And then also the waiting motif. Waiting. Thing I see, I'll be waiting. And then also, Odysseus' lyrics, I'm right here, mom, can't you see? And again, the dead and the living do not interact in this place. So they're effectively just kind of talking at each other rather than talking to each other. So even though Odysseus is saying this, I'm right here, can't you see? Anticlea never hears that. They will never get to say their goodbyes properly. And that just hurts.
Can't you see I'm waiting? I took too
Yep, and he realizes he took too long out at sea and they don't make it back in time. Look at him just balling back up into a child. Waiting, waiting. And he one-sidedly says goodbye.
Bye, Mom.
And now it all comes back to him. The screaming. It is so good. Nothing's what it seems. Oh, frantic pause. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for the raid. I didn't hear that actually. I don't know why that was so quiet. But hello, welcome back. I hope you've been having a great day and also had fun in your streams. But yeah, where was I before the ad break? Oh, yes.
Mom, can't you see I'm
Waiting.
I took too long.
Yep. Again, Odysseus realizes that he has been away for far too long. Because one of the not one of the biggest driving force for Odysseus in this entire journey home is, well, the journey home, like to get back home to everybody that he cares about. And so, yeah, finding out that he has lost his mom like this has to be very, very heartbreaking and quite demotivating as well. But I guess his primary goal is Penelope and Telemachus, so he's still able to move on. And I guess in a sense he can like take consolation that he does not see Penelope here also. So that's a good sign for him. I don't know if he actually realizes that though, with so much haunting him. But yeah, the mom fades away,
Bye, Mom.
and it's one-sided goodbye, and everything builds back up over here. All I hear are screams. Close my eyes. I no longer dream. As of those who've died. Nothing's what it seems. The past is always close behind. The past is always close behind. Down in the underworld. Yeah. So that was it for the Underworld.